expressions of welcome this evening, and so Munilalji does the welcome for us.
Sitaram everyone, and let us welcome our local, regional and international viewers and devotees. On behalf of the Ganesh Utsav Foundation and Pundit Sunil Seetahal Maharaj, I want to welcome you to our 8th night of Devi Yagna. We ask that you sit back and relax and join us in devotion and listen to our melodious voices and from our group and Ved Vyasji, Pundit Sunil Seetahal Maharaj and his enlightening discourses. I ask that you sit back and enjoy. Thank you.
Jagadamba Devi Mata ki Jai, Satya Sanatan Dharma ki Jai. As we take flowers in our hands, we propitiate worship the divine goddess once more. Hari Om Sri Ganesha Namah. Hari Om Im Saraswate Namah. Hari Om Sri Guru Charana Kavanebhyo Govinda Namo Namah. Viganeshwaraya Varadaya Surapranam Bhodaraya Sakalaya Jagadhitaya Naga Srutyagya Vibhushita Gauri Sutaya Gananath Namo Namaste. Jai Tvam Devi Chamunde Jai Bhuta Paharini Jai Sarve Gate Devi Kalaratri Namo Astute. Om Sri Mahadiganapataye Namah. Om Lakshmi Narayanyam Namah. Om Vami Surabhyam Namah. Vani Danyagarvayabhyam Namah. Sachipranbhyo Namah. Matri Pitre Charanakamane Namah. Ishtadevta Namah. Kuladevta Namah. Gramadevta Namah. Sthanidevta Namah. Sarvebhyo Devebhyo Sarvebhyo Brahmanebhyo Namah. Om Bhyo Shanti Antarikshavam Shanti Prithvi Shanti Apa Shanti Ushade Shanti Vanaspataya Shanti Vishwadeva Shanti Brahma Shanti Sarvavam Shanti Shantireva Shanti Sama Shantiridhi Bhavatu. Devi Mata ki Jai. We sprinkle water, symbolic of purification. Apavitra Pavitrava Sarva Vastam Gatopyaya Smarit Pundari Kaksha Svahayam Tara Suchi. Om Sri Vishnavi Nama Punatu Punatu. We ignite the flame in our ears. May Mahalakshmi be the Sakshi, the witness to our worship. Hari Om Deepa Jyotir Para Brahma Deepa Jyotir Janadhara Deepo Haratami Papam Deepo Yambrate Gretam Shubham Karotu Kalyanam Arogyam Sukasam Param Mama Shatru Vinashaya Deepa Jyotir Namostute. Together Siddhi Buddhi Prare Devi Bhukti Mukti Pradayani Mantra Murti Sada Devi Mahalakshmi Namostute. Mother Lakshmi is listening. Siddhi Buddhi Prane Devi Bhukti Mukti Pradayani Mantra Murti Sada Devi Mahalakshmi. We can do better than that. Siddhi Buddhi Prane Devi Bhukti Mukti Pradayani Mantra Murti Sada Devi Mahalakshmi Namostute. We shower the grains. Om Reem Batuka Padwadana Kurkwatka Om Namah Shivaya. Reem Batuka Padwadana Kurkwatka Om Namah Shivaya. Reem Batuka Padwadana Kurkwatka Om Namah Shivaya. Om Sarva Mangala Mangalye Shive Sarvati Satike Shadane Trayambake Gauri Narayani Namostute. Shailaputre Namaha. Brahmacharini Namaha. Chataganta Namaha. Kushmata Namaha. Skandamata Namaha. Katyayani Namaha. Kalratri Namaha. Mahagauri Namaha. Siddhadatre Namaha. Om Em Hem Krim Chamundai Viche Namaha. Mangalam Bhagavan Vishnu Mangalam Garudatvaja Mangalam Parvati Nataya Mangalaya Tanu Hari Trayambakam Yajamai Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva bandana prityormu. That mantra gives long life. Trayambakam yajamahi sugandhim pushtivardhanam. Urvarukamiva bandana. That mantra was away that Trayambakam yajamahi sugandhim pushtivardhanam. Urvarukamiva bandana prityormukshямamritan. मैं तो पूजा करूंगी, मैं तो पूजा करूंगी, मैं तो पूजा करूंगी दुर्गा मैया।
मैं तो पूजा करूंगी, मैं तो पूजा करूंगी, मैं तो पूजा करूंगी दुर्गा मैया।
We bathe our murti of the Devi with water first and then our dhar, praying that may you wash away all our sickness, all our troubles, all distresses. We beg of you, listen to our prayer, listen to our petition, O Devi Mata. After bathing the murti of our Devi, we will offer to her cotton or wool symbolic of clothing. We'll adorn her, a beautiful murti, a beautiful image with chandan and perfume. May you illumine the pathway of our lives, O Devi, O Goddess, O Mata. Be pleased with us. We beg of you, listen to our prayer, listen to our prayer. We bow to you with conviction from our hearts. स्नानं चरावो दुर्गा मैया, मैं तो स्नानं चरावो दुर्गा मैया।
स्नानं चरावो दुर्गा मैया, मैं तो स्नानं चरावो दुर्गा मैया।
अर्घ्यं चरावो देवी मैया, मैं तो अर्घ्यं चरावो देवी मैया।
अर्घ्यं चरावो देवी मैया, मैं तो अर्घ्यं चरावो दुर्गा मैया।
दुर्गा मैया, देवी मैया, मैं तो पूजा करूंगी दुर्गा मैया।
मैं तो पूजा करूंगी, मैं तो पूजा करूंगी, मैं तो पूजा करूंगी दुर्गा मैया।
मैं तो पूजा करूंगी, मैं तो पूजा करूंगी, मैं तो पूजा करूंगी दुर्गा मैया।
मैं तो पूजा करूंगी, मैं तो पूजा करूंगी, मैं तो पूजा करूंगी दुर्गा मैया।
वस्त्रं चरावो दुर्गा मैया, मैं तो वस्त्रं चरावो दुर्गा मैया।
वस्त्रं चरावो दुर्गा मैया, मैं तो वस्त्रं चरावो दुर्गा मैया।
रक्षा चरावो देवी मैया, मैं तो रक्षा चरावो दुर्गा मैया।
रक्षा चरावो देवी मैया, मैं तो रक्षा चरावो दुर्गा मैया।
सारी चराओ देवी मैया, मैं तो सारी चराओ दुर्गा मैया।
सारी चराओ देवी मैया, मैं तो सारी चराओ दुर्गा मैया।
दुर्गा मैया, देवी मैया, मैं तो पूजा करूंगी दुर्गा मैया।
मैं तो पूजा करूंगी, मैं तो पूजा करूंगी, मैं तो पूजा करूंगी दुर्गा मैया।
चंदन चराओ देवी मैया, मैं तो चंदन चराओ दुर्गा मैया।
चंदन चराओ देवी मैया, मैं तो चंदन चराओ दुर्गा मैया।
गंधम चराओ देवी मैया, मैं तो गंधम चराओ दुर्गा मैया।
गंधम चराओ देवी मैया, मैं तो गंधम चराओ दुर्गा मैया।
दुर्गा मैया, देवी मैया, मैं तो चंदन चराओ दुर्गा मैया।
मैं तो पूजा करूंगी, मैं तो पूजा करूंगी, मैं तो पूजा करूंगी दुर्गा मैया।
मैं तो पूजा करूंगी, मैं तो पूजा करूंगी, मैं तो पूजा करूंगी दुर्गा मैया।
मैं तो पूजा करूंगी, मैं तो पूजा करूंगी, मैं तो पूजा करूंगी दुर्गा मैया।
We offer Hardi as an act of purification. We offer Sindhu, bring for Mukti, salvation at a time when that may come. May you be pleased with us, O Mata Durga. We beg of you, listen to our prayer. हरदी चराओ दुर्गा मैया, मैं तो हरदी चराओ दुर्गा मैया।
हल्दी चढ़ाओ दुर्गा मैया, मैं तो हल्दी चढ़ाओ दुर्गा मैया।
सिंदूर चराओ दुर्गा मैया, मैं तो सिंदूर चराओ दुर्गा मैया।
सिंदूर चढ़ाओ दुर्गा मैया, मैं तो सिंदूर चढ़ाओ दुर्गा मैया।
दुर्गा मैया देवी मैया, मैं तो सिंदूर चराओ दुर्गा मैया।
मैं तो पूजा करूंगी, मैं तो पूजा करूंगी, मैं तो पूजा करूंगी दुर्गा मैया।
मैं तो पूजा करूंगी, मैं तो पूजा करूंगी, मैं तो पूजा करूंगी दुर्गा मैया।
मैं तो पूजा करूंगी, मैं तो पूजा करूंगी, मैं तो पूजा करूंगी दुर्गा मैया।
We offer strands of Dukras, praying that may you root away all our troubles, all our problems, all distresses. We offer bail reliefs to the medium of these leaves, we offer our lives at your feet. We offer neem leaves to the medium of these leaves, we offer all our sickness, all distresses unto you. Be pleased with us, O Devi, be pleased with us. Durbam charao Durga Maiya, me to durbam charao Durga Maiya.
दुर्बम चढ़ाओ दुर्गा मैया, मैं तो दुर्बम चढ़ाओ दुर्गा मैया।
बेल पचराओ देवी मैया, मैं तो बेल पचराओ दुर्गा मैया।
बेल पत चढ़ाओ देवी मैया, मैं तो बेल पत चढ़ाओ दुर्गा मैया।
नीम पचराओ दुर्गा मैया, मैं तो नीम पचराओ दुर्गा मैया।
नीम पत चढ़ाओ देवी मैया, मैं तो नीम पत चढ़ाओ दुर्गा मैया।
दुर्गा मैया देवी मैया, मैं तो नीम पचराओ दुर्गा मैया।
मैं तो पूजा करूंगी, मैं तो पूजा करूंगी, मैं तो पूजा करूंगी दुर्गा मैया।
मैं तो पूजा करूंगी, मैं तो पूजा करूंगी, मैं तो पूजा करूंगी दुर्गा मैया।
मैं तो पूजा करूंगी, मैं तो पूजा करूंगी, मैं तो पूजा करूंगी दुर्गा मैया।
We offer flowers symbolic of our love to the divine goddess. May you be pleased with us. माला चराओ देवी मैया, मैं तो माला चराओ दुर्गा मैया।
माला चढ़ाओ देवी मैया, मैं तो माला चढ़ाओ दुर्गा मैया।
पुष्पम चराओ देवी मैया, मैं तो पुष्प चराओ दुर्गा मैया।
पुष्पम चढ़ाओ देवी मैया, मैं तो पुष्पम चढ़ाओ दुर्गा मैया।
दुर्गा मैया देवी मैया, मैं तो माला चराओ दुर्गा मैया।
मैं तो पूजा करूंगी, मैं तो पूजा करूंगी, मैं तो पूजा करूंगी दुर्गा मैया।
मैं तो पूजा करूंगी, मैं तो पूजा करूंगी, मैं तो पूजा करूंगी दुर्गा मैया।
मैं तो पूजा करूंगी, मैं तो पूजा करूंगी, मैं तो पूजा करूंगी दुर्गा मैया।
We prepare our Persad with the various leaves and ingredients. And so we pray, O Mother Goddess, may you be pleased with us. Adorations at thy feet now and forevermore. Salutations unto thee again and again. Namo Namo Durge Sukhakarani, Namo Namo Ambe Dukharani. निरंकार है ज्योति तुम्हारी, तिहु लोक पेली उजियारी। शशिल लाटे मुख महाविशाला, नेत लाले ब्रिकुटी विकराला। रूप माटी को अधिक सुतावे, दर्श करन जनती सुख पावे। तुम संसार शक्ति लय कीन्हा, पालन हेतु अन्न धन दीना। प्रणय काले सब नाशनहारी, तुम गौरी शिव शंकर प्यारी। तुम संसार शक्ति लय कीन्हा, पालन हेतु अन्न धन दीना। अन्नपूर्ण होई जगपाला, तुम आरी हो सुंदरी बाला। प्रणय काले सब नाशनहारी, तुम गौरी शिव शंकर प्यारी। शिव योगी तुम्हारे गुण गावे, ब्रह्मा विष्णु तुम्हें नित्य गावे। ऐं ह्रीं क्रीं चामुण्डाय विचे,
ऐं ह्रीं क्रीं चामुण्डाय विचे,
ऐं ह्रीं क्रीं चामुण्डाय विचे।
ऐं ह्रीं क्रीं चामुण्डाय विचे।
रूप सरस्वती का तुम दारा, देश भूत ऋषि मुनि उभारा। तरी रूप नरसिंह को अम्बा, प्रगट भई पर कीन विकम्बा। रक्षा करे प्रहलाद बचायो, हिरण्याक्ष को स्वर पछतायो। लक्ष्मी रूप धरो जग माही, श्री नारायण अंग समानी। क्षीर सिंधु में करत विलासा, दया सिंधु दीजे मन आसा। हिंगलाज में तुम ही भवानी, महिमा अमित न जात बकानी। मातंगी भूमावती माता, भुवनेश्वरी भगला सुखदाता। श्री भैरव तारा जगतारिणी, जिन भवे वर दुख निवारी। ऐं ह्रीं क्रीं चामुण्डाय विचे,
ऐं ह्रीं क्रीं चामुण्डाय विचे,
ऐं ह्रीं क्रीं चामुण्डाय विचे।
ऐं ह्रीं क्रीं चामुण्डाय विचे।
हे हरिवाहन सोहि भवानी, लंगुर वीर चलत अभिमानी। करमी पर करत विलाजे, जाकु टेक का डर ही बाजे। सोमे अस्त्र ही अस्त्र त्रिशूला, जाते उतर शत्रु ही शूला। नागकोट में तुम ही विराजत, तिहु लोक में डंका बाजत। शुंभ निशुंभ दाने तुम मारे, रक्त बीज संतन संवारे। महिषासुर निरत अभिमानी, जय अंबार में हे अनुकाली। रूप काली को काली हो डारा, सेन सहित तुम ही संवारा। परिकर संतन पर जब जब, बैसती माँ तुम हो तब तब। अन्नपूर्ण हो बसहु लोका, तब महिमा सब रही अशोका। बाल में है ज्योति तुम्हारी, तुम सदन पूजत नर नारी। प्रेम भक्ति से जो नर गावे, दुख दरिद्र निकट नहीं आवे। दानव तुम जो नर मन लाई, जन्म मरण तू की चुकी जाए। ऐं ह्रीं क्रीं चामुण्डाय विचे,
ऐं ह्रीं क्रीं चामुण्डाय विचे,
ऐं ह्रीं क्रीं चामुण्डाय विचे।
ऐं ह्रीं क्रीं चामुण्डाय विचे।
जोगी सुर मुनि कहत पुकारा, जोग न भूपिन शक्ति तुम्हारा। शंकर आचारा तप कीन्हो, काम क्रोध जीते सब लीनो। इस दिन ध्यान धरो शंकर को, कहु काल नहीं सुमिरो तुमको। शक्ति रूप को मरण न पायो, शक्ति गई तब मन पछतायो। शरणागत हुए कीरे की बकानी, जय 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 जगदम्ब भवानी। भय प्रसन्न आरी जगदम्बा, जय शक्ति नहीं की नलिकम्बा। ऐं ह्रीं क्रीं चामुण्डाय विचे,
ऐं ह्रीं क्रीं चामुण्डाय विचे,
ऐं ह्रीं क्रीं चामुण्डाय विचे।
ऐं ह्रीं क्रीं चामुण्डाय विचे।
मोको मातु कष्ट तिगेरो, तुम बिन कौन हरे दुख मेरो। आशा तृष्णा निपट सतावे, विभु मूरख मोहि अति डर पावे। शत्रुनाश की जय महारानी, सुमेरो एक चित तुम ही भवानी। करहु कृपा हे मातु दयाला, रिद्धि सिद्धि रे करहु निराला। जब लग जियो दया पल पाओ, तुम बिन आश में सदन सुनाओ। देवी चालीसा जो कोई गावे, सब सुख भोग परम पर पावे। मोको शरण शरण नित जाए, करहु कृपा जगदम्ब भवानी। ऐं ह्रीं क्रीं चामुण्डाय विचे,
ऐं ह्रीं क्रीं चामुण्डाय विचे,
ऐं ह्रीं क्रीं चामुण्डाय विचे।
ऐं ह्रीं क्रीं चामुण्डाय विचे।
नैवेचराओ दुर्गा मैया, नहीं तो नैवेचराओ दुर्गा मैया।
नैवेचराओ दुर्गा मैया, नहीं तो नैवेचराओ दुर्गा मैया।
दुर्गा मैया देवी मैया, मैं तो पूजा करूंगी दुर्गा मैया।
मैं तो पूजा करूंगी, मैं तो पूजा करूंगी, मैं तो पूजा करूंगी दुर्गा मैया।
मैं तो पूजा करूंगी, मैं तो पूजा करूंगी, मैं तो पूजा करूंगी दुर्गा मैया।
मैं तो पूजा करूंगी, मैं तो पूजा करूंगी, मैं तो पूजा करूंगी दुर्गा मैया।
तांबूल चराओ दुर्गा मैया, मैं तो तांबूल चराओ दुर्गा मैया।
तांबूल चढ़ाओ दुर्गा मैया, मैं तो तांबूल चढ़ाओ दुर्गा मैया।
आचमन चराओ देवी मैया, मैं तो आचमन चराओ दुर्गा मैया।
आचमन चढ़ाओ देवी मैया, मैं तो आचमन चढ़ाओ दुर्गा मैया।
दक्षिणा चराओ देवी मैया, मैं तो दक्षिणा चराओ दुर्गा मैया।
दक्षिणा चढ़ाओ देवी मैया, मैं तो दक्षिणा चढ़ाओ दुर्गा मैया।
आरती चराओ दुर्गा मैया, मैं तो आरती चराओ दुर्गा मैया।
आरती चढ़ाओ दुर्गा मैया, आरती चढ़ाओ दुर्गा मैया।
दुर्गा मैया देवी मैया, मैं तो आरती चराओ दुर्गा मैया।
मैं तो पूजा करूंगी, मैं तो पूजा करूंगी, मैं तो पूजा करूंगी दुर्गा मैया।
प्रार्थना चराओ दुर्गा मैया, मैं तो प्रार्थना चराओ दुर्गा मैया।
प्रार्थना चढ़ाओ देवी मैया, मैं तो प्रार्थना चढ़ाओ दुर्गा मैया।
असतो मा सद्गमया तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमया मृत्योर्मामृतं गमया। ॐ ऐं ह्रीं क्रीं चामुण्डाय विचे नमः। ऐं ह्रीं क्रीं चामुण्डाय विचे नमः। ऐं ह्रीं क्रीं चामुण्डाय विचे नमः। जननी मां जय जगजननी मां।
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 प्रेम वाहिनी माँ,
प्रेम वाहिनी माँ,
प्रेम वाहिनी माँ,
प्रेम वाहिनी माँ,
ज्ञान वाहिनी माँ,
ज्ञान वाहिनी माँ,
जननी माँ, जय जग जननी 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 माँ,
धर्म वाहिनी माँ,
धर्म वाहिनी माँ,
धर्म वाहिनी माँ,
धर्म वाहिनी माँ,
ज्ञान वाहिनी माँ,
ज्ञान वाहिनी माँ,
जननी माँ, जय जग जननी 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 माँ,
विद्यावाहिनी माँ,
विद्यावाहिनी माँ,
विद्यावाहिनी माँ,
विद्यावाहिनी माँ,
ज्ञान वाहिनी माँ,
ज्ञान वाहिनी माँ,
जननी माँ, जय जग जननी 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 माँ,
सिंह वाहिनी माँ,
सिंह वाहिनी माँ,
सिंह वाहिनी माँ,
सिंह वाहिनी माँ,
ज्ञान वाहिनी माँ,
ज्ञान वाहिनी
बोलो
माँ,
everybody, जननी माँ, जय जग जननी माँ,
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 शक्ति वाहिनी माँ,
शक्ति वाहिनी माँ,
शक्ति वाहिनी माँ,
शक्ति वाहिनी माँ,
ज्ञान वाहिनी माँ,
ज्ञान वाहिनी माँ,
जननी माँ, जय जग जननी 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 माँ,
जय माँ
दुर्गे 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 जय जय माँ
जय 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 दुर्गा 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 माँ
दुर्गे 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 जय जय 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 माँ
जय 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 दुर्गा 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 माँ दुर्गे 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 जय जय माँ
दुर्गे 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 जय जय माँ
The Devi Bhagavad is written in such a way that the Devi Bhagavad brings a reminder to the strayed, lost mind. The Devi Bhagavad says, before you can worship a Devi who dwells in Swarga, the heavens, whom you have never seen before and only heard of, you must learn to worship the Devi whom you can see that lives on the earth. The Devi Bhagavad says, the intelligent being recognizes the Devi as Matri Devo, as Mata. Our Matas have become our Saraswati, our teachers. And throughout the journey of our life, every day is a new learning day. But much of what we have learned has been taught us by our Matas. Matri Devo Bhava. Our Mata is our Lakshmi. We go to our Mata all the time, and though we have no intention of paying back, we say, lend me at 20. And the Mata who says, I don't have, the Mata who says, I'm tired of giving to you, will still give to you. Because such is the nature of Mata. Matri Devo. Matri Devo. Our Mata becomes the Durga. And in our most troubled, trying, turbulent, sick time, our Mata becomes the doctor, the Durga. She has no doctorate. She has no degree in medicine. But she knows exactly what to prescribe for the ailment that is before us. A day comes, a time comes, when the Saraswati who is calm, the Lakshmi who is calm, and the Durga who is seen as smiling, turns into that dark goddess called Kali. Have you ever seen your mother angry before Ved? Be careful, she gets angry. And so she turns into Kali, dark and angry. But although she is angry and although she is annoyed, her heart is still soft. She is still ever ready to give and to bless. Tonight, our Katha takes us into Vishnu Lok, the abode of Bhagwan Vishnu. And so in Vishnu Lok, Mother Lakshmi, she is seated in the Chira Sagar. Chira Sagar. Sagar means Chir is milk, the milky ocean. And so as Mother Lakshmi, she is seated in the milky ocean. Mother Lakshmi, she is sitting alone, and Mother Lakshmi, she is quiet. Have you ever had alone quiet time before? Have you ever experienced alone quiet time before? How does that feel? What is that experience like? This morning I left home before the sun could peep out of the sky. And I came back home this evening when the sun was about to set. And in the little quiet time that I got, I fell asleep. Though I'm late, nobody woke me up. And I'm saying to my aunt, why didn't you wake me up? And she said, well, you need the rest. I said, but then everybody is waiting on me. And they'll be annoyed and I'll be late. And she looked at me and she said, so what's new? What's new? You'll be late and rested, rather than you'll be early and disoriented. Her exact words to me. Mother Lakshmi in the Chida circle, she's sitting alone. And Mother Lakshmi, she is quiet. In order to reflect, in order to do searching, in order to do cleaning, in order to do some form of cleansing, to ensure that we tread onto the righteous pathway in a righteous, noble way, we have to sit and analyze. And the only time we could sit and analyze is when we spend some time with ourselves, by ourselves. Talking to yourself. I said on one of the nights, it is okay to talk to yourself, but it is not okay to reply to yourself. And so Mother Lakshmi is seated there. Something happens. Something that doesn't please the heart of Mother Lakshmi. Something that does not make her happy is about to happen. How much happy, good things happened today? From sunset last night to sunrise this morning, we rested. But from sunrise this morning till sunset this evening, we have been on the go. Every one of us. How much pleasing things happened today? How much displeasing things happened today? How much good, positive things happened today? And how much negative things happened today? Something that is displeasing to Mother Lakshmi is about to happen. And it deals with the presence of some being. How much pleasant people have you met with today? And how much unpleasant people have you met with today? Why you are not answering? Those are questions. And so Mother Lakshmi, who appears? Listen, the Devi Bhagavad tells us. Shuklam Bharadram Deva Shashivaranam Chaturbhuja Prasanna Dhyayet Sarva Viganopashante Saraswati Namastubhya Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambam Karishami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sara Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Saksha Parabrahma Tasmai Sri Guruve Namah Aim Hem Krim Chamundaye Viche Namah बिनते नमन करने वाले उपस्थित का नारद मुनि का आई प्रकट होते करने वाले जिसमें का भगवान विष्णु तलाश का देने करने दुर्गे 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 जय जय मां uninvited, with no announcement, Narad Muni appears in front of Mother Lakshmi. This makes Mother Lakshmi angry, upset, for he has not been invited and he shows up. Have you ever gone to a function uninvited and you're treated as though you're God? Have you ever gone to a place invited and you are treated as though, why did you come? We invited you just because, not really because. Tonight I want to teach you that whether the guest is invited or uninvited, Atiti Devo Bhava. Atiti Devo Bhava. Have you ever heard that before? Atiti Devo Bhava. Your guess is not when you see the guest you say, oh God, your guess is God. Bhagwan might manifest through the medium of the guest and show up to see what you will do. Remember? Remember when Sati Devi went unannounced to the yajna, what happened to her? She was looking for a space where not she will sit, but she was looking for a space for her husband. There's some people you're sharing something and you have limited. They say, well, give me one for my granddaughter now. And I want one for my granddaughter friend. She have a little friend that's come. He like this thing too bad. And you give me one for the dog and all. Because as I reach home, the dog is come. And the dog is be wagging. And if I don't give the dog the Persad, you know, and I have a little kitten home. My kitten so love Persad that the kitten no longer balls meow. It is called give. Because as it see me, it's saying, give, bring the Persad. Mother Lakshmi, she becomes displeased because she cannot read, she doesn't know the intention of Narad. There are people who come with all different kind of intention. There are people who come and they have no discretion. Do you know? Have you ever heard that word discretion before? It is the nature of some to be like the candle fly. You know about the candle fly? The candle fly lights up when there is darkness. It is the nature of some to be like the mosquito, buzzing by your ears all the time. It is the nature of some to be like the what? Like the what? The parrot. Talk non-stop. It is the nature of some to be like the bacha. Anything they see, anything they hear, anything at all, once they could take it up and they could carry, they become like a messenger. A bachak don't only carry food, you know. The bachak, the king of the tribe, the nest, finds the food and goes back and announces to the rest of them, come quick, food. And they form a little army and they're coming down in a track because they're attracted to the message that they have listened. There's some people like the bachak, carry news. That's all they do. Anything to tote. Maybe we should start giving Rasi names. Totande, Pakande, Coral Day, Trouble Day. I'm not giving the name, so nobody attack me. Yogi Raj Narad appeared, and Yogi Raj Narad bowed to the feet of Mother Lakshmi. Va Bhagwan Vishnu ka talash karne wali, talash karne wali. Talash. He's searching. He's trying to find. Talash. What is he trying to find? Bhagwan Vishnu. Oh Mother Lakshmi, I came here and so I'm seeing you. But my intention for coming here was not to meet you. Imagine a guest comes to your place uninvited and see you and say, I come in, but I really didn't want to meet you. But they're coming to your home. They're coming into your space. They're coming into your zone. In the establishment, there is a man called the floor supervisor. And he knows that his job is the floor. So he can't lose the key to his brain to go by the cash register, to cash anything. Because anytime he goes there, they look at him cocky eye. You know why? They say you didn't come here to cash, you come here to... Papa, how are you laughing? You know about that? You didn't come here to cash, you came here to do some adjusting to the drawer. And adjusting to from the drawer to your pocket. Because your portfolio permits you to be on the floor, not by the register. And so, Mother Lakshmi hearing these words, Mother Lakshmi, she becomes furious. She becomes mad. Husband, can you tell when your wife is annoyed? Let me ask a newly wedded husband, can you tell when your wife is annoyed? Would you be able to tell? No? Well, let me show you how a seasoned husband is answered. Because you are newlywed. Papa, you could tell when Mama Shirl's vexed? You hear the answer? He didn't shake his head or anything. He say, what? He's answering. Ask Dan Paul. You could tell when Mahatma vexed Dan Paul? You see, that's another very seasoned, trained husband. You see his reply? He knows that whether his reply is good or bad, he's still in trouble. So he just smiles. Because he's a well-trained husband. And so Mother Lakshmi, she becomes furious. She becomes angry. And so she gives a reply to Narad Muni. Narad, who is inquiring, where is Bhagwan Vishnu? Mother Lakshmi tells, what is she saying? उसने का पूछते करने वाले मन लक्ष्मी का पत्नी नहीं का भगवान विष्णु कहा तीर करने वाले नारद उसके का प्रवेश का निर्वन कथा करने वाले निर्णन करते वाले दुर्गे 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 जय जय माँ दुर्गे जय जय माँ
दुर्गे 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 जय जय माँ.
Narad is inquiring, oh Mother Lakshmi, where is Lord Vishnu? I'm searching for him. Can you tell me where to find him? And Mother Lakshmi replies, and she says, Narad, I have no clue. I have no clue where he is. And so I did not even give thought that he is missing. For I was enjoying my quiet time until you came. And so, oh Narad, I have no clue where he is. Narad Muni hearing this, Narad Muni did not only think, Narad Muni spoke. Sometimes you didn't think it quick, it flies out your mouth. Has that ever happened to you? On the beginning night of the yajna, I said there is something wrong with the connection between my brain and my mouth. Because sometimes as I think it, I say it. So there is a little malfunction when it comes to the connection between the brain and the mouth. Because long ago I remained quiet and I would allow things to pass. Now I awaken you so that you become conscious, so that you will not make the same mistake over and over and over. Narad Muni thought in his mind and spoke with his mouth, and he says, oh Devi, I feel as though you are lying. I feel as though you are not telling the truth. For there isn't a single thing that you don't know. And obviously you're going to know where Lord Vishnu is. Obviously you're going to know. Let me ask the question to the wife now. We'll ask a young wife, one who now got married, Sharon. Sharon, do you know where your husband is all the time? Would you be able to tell? Let me ask a seasoned wife. Sharon, do you know where your husband is all the time? Let me ask another seasoned wife. Champavati, do you know where your husband is all the time? How are you shaking your head like that? Can you tell? Well, you have to be intelligent like the president. Have a GPS on the car and a GGPPPS on the phone. And any text come to him, come to me. And any text come to me, go to him. And we have nothing to hide. We have nothing to hide. In the group, when we are having a conversation, we call everybody one time. 6 people one time, 7 people, 9 people, how much ever. Put them up on a chat and we talk what we have to talk so that no miscommunication and mismessage goes anywhere. And we say, well, I want. And sometimes I just pick up the phone out of all the blue for no reason, no good reason at all. And I call and I say, I have to tell you something very, very important, but I can't talk for long. And you know what's that? What I say? What I say when I say that? Chiki, what I say when I say that? She out of all the people saying that. When I say to you, I just have something very, very important to tell you and I have to go. I say, I love you. That's what I say. And I hung up the phone after that. I hope you don't think of me like Narad, the Mahalakshmi. Tonight. Narad Muni is thinking that Mother Lakshmi is lying, and so Narad Muni decides to sit on the ground, and he says, well, Devi, I will sit here and I will wait until he appears from wherever he is hiding. I will sit here and I will wait. Do you know there's some people, they have no problem with waiting? They have no problem, they'll sit down and wait. And if you take forever, they'll wait forever too. They have a lot of patience. Ever hear the word patience? When I hear patience, I think about hospital. Just like when I heard tablet, I used to think about medicine. But now the little children, the little girl said to me, Baba, wait, I come in now, don't start the puja yet. And I said, why? She said, I'm going for my tablet. So I'm sitting, I thought she's sick, or maybe have a headache, or need some kind of medication. And about 15 minutes after, she come back. I say, what took you so long? What kind of tablet you took? She said, no, I went for my tablet, but the battery was dead, so I had to charge it for 2 minutes before I come. Tablet. Yogiraj Narad sits on the ground and he says, I will wait. And Mother Lakshmi hearing this, you know what happens? Mother Lakshmi is deciding, you know what? I really don't want to be in the company of Narad. I don't want to stay here with him alone. So Mother Lakshmi decides to do something. What will she do? Listen, it tells us. Vade janme ka vidhat karne wali, aapka karte wali, shisha pratikshan karne wali, Sri Mahalakshmi कैलासा दे के करने वाले, भगवान विष्णु तलाश में दे जंगल करने जानते करने वाले, वहाँ जबी का लोग प्रवेश करते और किसु का देवतों का देवी का मिलन का देते हैं। दुर्गे 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 जय जय माँ। Mother Lakshmi leaves and she goes in search of Bhagwan Vishnu. So she goes to the different lokas. Going to the different lokas, Mother Lakshmi, she has the opportunity to meet with the different devatas and the different devis. Do you know in time gone by, on a Sunday, there were many special things that took place? Can you remember? Especially on a Sunday. The Friday is called a no-cook day in almost every home. Is it? This Sunday, some kind of special lunch is made. A special Sunday lunch. Is it? And in time gone by, in the days when I grew up, Sunday was not Sunday until you put on that television and watch that Indian movie. You all know the Indian movie? But when you sit down to watch that movie, you have to sit down with a napkin or a rag or some kind of thing, because the movie had a unique way of making you cry and playing with your emotion. And then after you looked at the movie, then the elders in the home, it's either they say, well, let's make something sweet to eat or some ice cream or some kind of thing. A family project happened. And if there was no family project happening, then you will say, let's go for a drive somewhere. Can you remember that? And everybody will sit in the car and everybody will go for a drive. And you know where you're going? You're going unannounced to other families' home. You're going to visit your aunt and your uncle and your sisters and your brother-in-law, and you're just going to meet your cousins and your friends, and you're just going. When is the last time you did that? When is the last time you dropped in by some kind of family and you say, hey, I didn't see you a long time. When is the last time you did that? Baba, Trinidad culture turned into America culture. You have to call first. And if you show up unannounced, you know what happened? You have to stand up by the gate. They'll shook the dog after you. In almost every home, long ago, there was a hammock. You know the hammock? And in the night time, the evening time, when the place got a little cool, you'll sit down in the hammock and they'll put on the radio. And you know what you're playing? Chalat musafir moor piyare vinjere gwali munia. You remember that? Or if it was a different kind of mood and a different kind of day you're hearing, you know what you're hearing? Man dole mera tan dole mera dil ka. You all know that song? You ever hear that before? Now, you put on the radio. She's looking for a four-wheel van. No AD wagon. And we have lost everything. And that's a fact. It's the truth. We have lost everything. You can no longer visit anybody. You can no longer go anywhere. The places that you will call and you will deem to be very familiar are places that you get shut out from by selfish, self-centered people. And culture itself has just changed. I'm taking the walk yesterday in Palmy's Park. And there is a pastor who I can recognize. And an ordinary man, I don't know who he is. I have no clue if he's a pastor too. But coincidentally, the day before, I walked behind them. And I was listening to their conversation about church and people and the behavior, and when they were young, and when the father was the pastor, and what traditions were there, and how everything has just changed, and what kind of accountability. And I've listened. And coincidentally, I tried to pass them while walking yesterday. And while passing, they say, "So you're trying to make me feel bad?" They're asking me. "Because you're young, you want to walk faster than us. Slow down and walk with us." So I slowed down and I walked with them. "How long you walk for?" So I give them all my business. I tell them everything except that I'm a Pundit, except that I'm a Hindu, and except where I'm living. I don't give them, they ask, but I don't give them that information. And then they begin to talk, they're having a conversation. And the man, the pastor, he's asking the other man, he says, "Do you believe in life after death?" The man says, "I believe when you're dead, yes." And he's asking, he says, "Do you believe in soul and spirit?" He says, "I don't believe in nothing. I believe in zero." He says, "So you don't think that you have a spirit? You don't think that you have a soul?" He said, "I don't think nothing." You didn't hear? "I don't think anything." And then soon after, in the conversation again, they're talking again. And the man says, "When you die, your soul will stand up in front of God." The pastor said, "But you just tell me you don't have no soul and you don't have no spirit. So how your spirit standing up in front of God?" He said, "Well, you know what I mean now. Sometimes things happen and conversations happen and situations happen around you that will plunge you into thinking, that will plunge you into awakening, a different kind of energy in you." I went home thinking and wondering, what's the difference with spirit and the difference with soul? I went home thinking that what stands in front of Bhagwan, your soul or your spirit? Is the spirit separate from the soul? Is the soul your spirit? What gives the account? When there is reincarnation, what gives energy to the next birth? Your soul or your spirit? And immediately I went and I started to read. Though I was late already. Because I have to read when I remember. And I recognize that it says, trapped with your soul are the vasanas and the sheets. And because the soul now has to be re-entered into different body, the energies are stored up in the soul. But the spirit, the power, the energy in the soul is what stands and gives an accountability of the kind of life that you would have lived. I was eager to go and tell them that today, but I fell asleep. So I decided to tell you instead. Mother Lakshmi is running. But that a day will come and a time will come when none of us will be able to run. Because we'll have to stand up and face the consequences of the actions that we have performed during the duration of our life. Mother Lakshmi visits the realm of all the devatas, and she is happy to see them, and she's happy to greet with them, and she's happy to... We're happy to see family, you know why? To laugh at them, to put them down, to criticize them. The first thing you do when you see people, how you so fat? How you looking so? You're looking global. You're looking like the globe. Somebody tell you that, what you'll do? Chicky, what if I say to you global? What you'll say? Say I'm not just global, and I am glowing globally. I'm a glowing light in the globe. Mother Lakshmi, she visits all the devatas and she inquires, have you seen Lord Vishnu? Have you heard from Lord Vishnu? And everybody replies, no. Why? You ever looking for your husband and call everywhere and nobody see him, nobody hear him? How do you feel? What kind of energy is built up? Hearing a seasoned husband answer. And so, what will happen? Bhagavan Vishnu finally, he appears. And so as he appears in Vishnu Lok, Mother Lakshmi is waiting. She inquires, tell me, where were you? And so Bhagavan Vishnu listened to his reply. Achyutam Keshavam Krishna Damodharam Achyutam Keshavam Krishna Damodharam Ramanarayanam Janaki Pallavam Ramanarayanam Janaki Pallavam Achyutam Keshavam Krishna Damodharam Achyutam Keshavam Krishna Damodharam Ramanarayanam Janaki Pallavam Ramanarayanam Janaki Pallavam Om Him Krim Chamundaye Viche Namah विष्णु लोक का लौते बुलाट का समी भाट का तुरंत का लक्ष्मी पूछने करने वाले उसने का वाहन कटा भगवान विष्णु की प्रकट लेने वाले देखो डूका इसलिए का भोजन उपहार करने वाले भोजन उपहार करने वाले जब ने का महालक्ष्मी के वचन हचल का देने वाले हचल का देने वाले अच्युतम केशवम कृष्ण दामोदरम अच्युतम केशवम कृष्ण दामोदरम रामनारायणम जानकी वल्लभम रामनारायणम जानकी वल्लभम कौन कहते हैं भगवान आते नहीं कौन कहते हैं भगवान आते नहीं तू मीरा के जैसे बुलाते नहीं तू मीरा के जैसे बुलाते नहीं अच्युतम केशवम कृष्ण दामोदरम अच्युतम केशवम कृष्ण दामोदरम रामनारायणम जानकी वल्लभम रामनारायणम जानकी वल्लभम. Mother Lakshmi is inquiring. She says, "Oh Lord Vishnu, Narad Muni has been sitting here for a long time. I have had the opportunity to visit the realm of all the devatas and all the devis. And I had the time to come back here. And so now you came. Tell me, where did you go?" And Lord Vishnu says, "Well, I went down on the earth because my job is to sustain creation." And Mother Lakshmi says, "How? You have been doing that from the heavens all along. Then what permitted you to go down on the earth? Why did you go on the earth? Tell me." And Bhagavan Vishnu says, the humans, the plants, the animals, they were hungry. And so there were many beings hungry, and I could not allow them to go to sleep hungry. So I went to provide food for them. Let me ask you a question that you have never thought of. How much times during the journey of your life You were hungry and God never gave you food? How much times? How much times during the journey of your life you were thirsty and God never gave you something to drink? How much times? Has there ever been a time? How much times you were sleepy and you never slept? Do you know what? Do you know what Scripture says? Listen to what Scripture says about sleep. And this is just information. Listen to what Scripture says about sleep. Scripture says sleeping is natural. It is a natural thing. You cannot remain awake all the time. But Scripture reminds us that waking up is only through the grace of Bhagwan, God. Falling asleep is natural, but waking up is a blessing. Always remember that. Waking up is only through the grace of Bhagwan. For without His grace, you will remain sleeping. And you know what they do with people who remain sleeping? What they do with them? But do you know how much people they are sleeping? They will never wake up. Though their eyes are wide open, they're fast asleep. You ever see the baby sleeping with the eyes wide open? Ever see that? There's some animals sleep with their eyes wide open, you know. The rabbits. They sleep with their eye open. I'm not asking you, I'm telling you. There's some birds that sleep with their eyes open. There's some animals that sleep with their eyes open. And though they appear to be awake, they're fast asleep. You know much people? I want to give you an example. The teachers will understand. The teacher teaching the class and talking to the children, and the children eye wide open, looking at the teacher and looking at the board and pen in the hand. And they're sleeping. With your eye wide open, you're sleeping. Because your mind is programmed. You see, this man, he real boring. X plus Y plus Z. Why you didn't get sick at toothache and stay home? Your mind is programmed like that. And so the man teaching and explaining, and in your mind you say, 1:30 only. Why couldn't me 2:30? And you're thinking, I get roti and the same for lunch. Don't tell me she'll make rice and dal and I'll eat the same. Same again. And you're awake. Plenty to absorb is happening around you. But your energy and your mind doesn't permit you to be in the environment. It permits you to be somewhere else. Ever get dressed and go to the function? You reach and sit down in the front row. And all you're thinking about, oh God, I wonder if I unplug the heater. Ever sit down in the front row, like Jagannath, in the front row, with his dantad in his hand, and he say, oh God, I wonder if I close the door. I know I push it in, but I didn't turn the lock. I wonder what will happen. And then from here, he pressing his blink, lock. But you see, the distance too far now, it can't lock from here. And he say, it ain't locking, it means the door really open. And he sit down here and he thinking, door, and I saying, durege, and he's saying, door, durege, and he thinking, door. Tonight, Mother Lakshmi, she inquires and Lord Vishnu replies. He says, I went and I fed the animals and he's saying I fed the plant. Can you feed a plant? Can you feed a plant? How can you feed a plant? How can you feed a plant? Do you believe a plant could drink something other than water? What comes to mind when I say that? It's not that I'm talking about. I'm talking about milk. I'm talking about milk. For the past few days, we have been offering out Durga Dar. And lazy in me, I did not dig a triangular hole. I did not do it. I was hoping somebody would have felt sorry for me and do it, but nobody did. So, I've been offering the Dhar in the Tulsi plant. And I've been offering the Dhar at the base of the Tulsi plant, and I've been using milk as the base liquid. And from very small, in a matter of a few days, the Devi has grown. She has grown in such a way that it reminds me that when I was a child and I was small too, I was drinking milk to grow. And here I am feeding the Devi milk and she's growing. Mother Lakshmi, hearing that Lord Vishnu says, I fed the human, and then I fed the animals, and then I fed the plants, and he gives a sequence in which he did it. Because of all the creations, the highest is the human existence, and then the animals, and then the plants, and in that order he fed. And he says, here I am. I came back here. And just like Narad had a doubt in his mind that Mother Lakshmi was not telling the truth, so too Mother Lakshmi has a doubt in her mind that Lord Vishnu is not telling the truth. Wife, have you ever had a doubt that your husband not telling the truth? I'm sorry your wife not here tonight. She would answer all the questions. Have you ever had a doubt in your mind that your husband is not telling the truth? Gerald, shaking chair. And so, Mother Lakshmi, she plotted a plan. And she's planning for the next time he disappears. And he comes to give that excuse that he just gave. She's plotting a plan so that she'll be able to decipher if he's telling the truth or he's telling her. A relationship that has no trust is a failed relationship. Because whether how hard you try, if there is no trust, then nothing good will come out of the relationship. And that relationship is, and trust is not unique only to husband and wife, children and parents. Not children and parents, siblings. Not siblings, your nephews, your nieces. You should win the trust of your children and you should win the trust of your nephews and your nieces. Do you know there's some nephews and nieces that love their aunts and their uncle more? They will communicate more with them than their own parents. Do you know? For instance, Auntie Patsy. There was a time you could have told she anything. Now I just have to be real careful because she's get a little vexed and things sometimes. But when you see her, there is always this smile and you could tell her anything. Thing that you can't tell your mother, you'll tell her. And that's a fact, it's the truth. Because you have that comfort with her. You have that openness with her that you can communicate with her anyhow. And when I say anyhow, I don't mean disrespectfully. I mean in a respectful way, but you could still say anything. She will not be offended, she will not brand you, she will not... Mother Lakshmi plots a plan. And she plots the plan, what will happen? Listen. तुम ही हो माता सीता तुम्ही हो बंधु सका तुम्ही हो माँ
तुम्ही हो माता सीता तुम्ही हो बंधु सखा तुम्ही हो माँ
हो माँ हो माँ हो माँ हो माँ हमेशा का तारक करने वाले कुछ का बार व्यापस अपने करने वाले महालक्ष्मी के पूछने कहाँ तुम का देने वाले भूख में कान्हा का करने वाले देख और क्या करने वाले उसने का पूछने महालक्ष्मी का भूख चंदर करने वाले जिसमें का चोर का इंसानों का या सिर का कुछ करने वाले क्या होते तुम ही हो माता पिता तुम ही हो बंधु सका तुम ही हो माँ
तुम ही हो माता पिता तुम ही हो बंधु सखा तुम ही हो माँ
हो माँ हो माँ हो माँ हो माँ Bhagwan Vishnu had disappeared again. But this time Mother Lakshmi, she's alert. She's looking out, she's alert. When something is brought to your attention, you become very alert, isn't it? The neighbors say to you, what you was doing about 10 o'clock last night? There is a car that passes here every night 10 o'clock. And so they wind down their glass and they look at the different homes and they're watching. What do you do the next night 10 o'clock? What do you do? And every other night after that, 10 o'clock you have a date with the window because you're going to see a car. Isn't it? Because you're alert, it has been brought to your attention. So it has awakened a consciousness in you. And so Mother Lakshmi, who is very conscious now, is like deja vu. It's like something is happening, it is reoccurring. Narad Muni appeared again and he says, oh Lakshmi, you again. I didn't come here to see you, I came here to see Lord Vishnu. Where is he? And Mother Lakshmi replies, she says, well, I don't know, I have no clue. He has just left. And so he did not tell me where he is going. And Narad Muni, he again feels that Mother Lakshmi is not telling the truth. He says, well, I'll sit down here and I'll wait. And so he sits down and he's waiting. And Mother Lakshmi this time, she is not getting up to go anywhere. She is not getting up to go anywhere. Tonight I want to tell you that in your personal space, you never allow anybody to make you feel uncomfortable. You should never allow anybody to make you feel uncomfortable in your space. Your space belongs to, well, nothing belongs to us. But your space, that place that you call my space, belongs to. Ever try to give somebody a space, a squeeze, and they throw you out? On the hammock. You know about the hammock? When somebody else comes to sit on the hammock and they sit on the next side, you know what happened to you? You end up in the sky. And you say, wait, let me come down from here because you know why? I'm uncomfortable now. You're squeezing me. I have to move. I have to come out. You ever tried to give somebody a squeeze in the car? And instead of trying to sit on the seat, they try to sit on top of you. And they say, don't worry, I like me, I eat for the day yet. Ever driving the car and the weight so heavy that the driver say, Ole, lift all yourself off the seat. Have you ever heard that? Lift all yourself off the seat so the car wouldn't drag. Jagannath wouldn't know about that. He's only drive bus and things. Big thing. Lift yourself up. Have you ever done that before? What changes the weight? Does that change the weight? What's the logic in that? You ever hear them say, wind down the glass and take off the AC because the gas low? The air condition working with gas from your tank? Or is it working with power from your battery? Where is it getting its power from? Where is it getting the power from? I don't know. That's a genuine question I'm asking. I'm inquiring because I know about prayers. I don't know about car. I know to drive. They say wind down the glass so the gas low and the car will use less gas if you don't use the AC. That's true. Oh. I'll research that and tomorrow I'll tell you. And sometimes we do foolish things thinking that is the right thing, We're convinced it's the right thing. We have convinced ourselves that what we are doing is the right thing. So, we do it. Narad sits there and he's waiting. Mother Lakshmi sits there and she says, well, I am not moving. And so she waits when Lord Vishnu will come. Lord Vishnu comes and the first person Lord Vishnu begins to speak with is who? Husband come home. The dog becomes furious because the dog knows the role of the tire from a mile. You all know? The dog barking and wagging and excited. Husband will kiss up the dog and hug up the dog and love up the dog and kuchi. And when he walk in the house, he look at the wife, he wake up. The quality of the dog goes on him, so he's now a pit bull. He walks into the house, wake up. And she said, well, I had a headache. So whole day today you have a headache. You couldn't take 2 Panadol. So what it is we'll eat? I'm hungry. And she said, well, I will make something. Don't make it now. You had a whole day to make it. And the energy of the dog come on you. How the dog supposed to behave? You behaving. And actually, how you're supposed to treat the dog, you're treating the others around you. And you become confused. Yogi Raj Narad is sitting there and Bhagwan Vishnu speaks to Yogi Raj Narad first. So you know what happens to Mother Lakshmi? What happens to Mother Lakshmi? Let me ask you a real life question. Wife, ever go to a function and you hear your husband telling the other ladies, you're looking real nice, or they're real dressed up? And when the wife sit down in the car, she say, yeah, I's the bagman daughter. I had on a alu bag. You didn't see I dress up and I have on lipstick. You see everybody else dress up and have on lipstick and looking nice. So you could have complimented them. But I am nothing. So you know what? You watch me like I am nothing. And whole function, smoke coming through the wife's ears, you know. She can't wait till she go in the car to tell him. She can't wait. She done planning in her mind the adjectives that she will use to describe her emotion to her husband. And the verbs and the nouns and the pronouns, and the English gets proper. Because the expression has to be real, with energy, with power. So the next time she put on in she 90 to go to he say, oh God, that 90 nice. The next time he sees her, whether what she is wearing, he look at her and he say, oh God, you're looking like the sun and the moon and the stars. Kuch hota hai, something is happening in my heart. Bahut pyar karte hain, and lyrics. He begins to express with emotion. And she look at him and she say, what happened to you? I've done the same thing since yesterday, you know, see me? And he say in his mind, I can't please you no how. I tell you you're vexed. Me and tell you you're vexed. Like you born vexed. It says, Mother Lakshmi, she's sitting there. And as Narad Muni gets the attention of Lord Vishnu first, Mother Lakshmi becomes mad. She becomes angry. And becoming angry, wife, ever wait for your husband to come home to talk to him, and when he come home, you're only on the phone? Only on the phone. And you have to make an appointment, and you say, I need to tell you something important. He said, just now, 5 minutes, and 5 hours pass, and you're still waiting. What is the reaction? Well, these wives in here could identify with what I'm saying. The wives in these 2 rooms here could identify with what I'm saying. Mother Lakshmi becomes mad and she looks at Lord Vishnu and she says, Lord Vishnu, so only Narad you saw? I'm here, I'm waiting on you too. Come sit, let's have a conversation. Where did you go? And Lord Vishnu says, well, I went to feed the humans, I went to feed the animals, and I went to feed the plants to make sure that everybody is well fed and so that they can go to sleep happy and peaceful. Mother Lakshmi said, well, I am hoping I could go to sleep peaceful too tonight. So did you feed all the humans? Lord Vishnu says yes. So did you feed all the plants? Yes. Then did you feed all the animals? And Lord Vishnu says yes. Mother Lakshmi says, you're sure? Are you sure that all of creation was fed? And Lord Vishnu said yes. Have you ever been told something that you believe with conviction, but is a lie? One of my aunts told my other aunt that one of our neighbors died. A young person. With COVID, you could believe that. You could identify that death could come suddenly. I go to walk in Palmy's Park, and coming in the opposite direction is the dead lady. The lady who is supposed to be dead now. So I see her, and from the time I see her, I say, hey, you walking? She said, yeah, I walk all the time. I said, well, thank God you're still walking. She said, why? I said, well, I don't know how to say I hear you dead. I don't know what words to use to say, well, I thought that you're dead, and how come you're walking here? So I hold her. I said, let me just feel you. You for real? She said, yes. I said, give me a hug. She hugged me. I said, hug me tight. She hugged me. I said, I know it's COVID and everything. Give me a kiss. So she gave me a kiss. I said, oh. She said, why? Everything okay with you? I said, no, I just making sure I hug you before we die. Any one of us could die anytime, you know. She said, yes, I know, Pundit. Anybody could die anytime. It is important for us to tell each other that, we love each other. And in my mind, I'm saying, I really thought you did. I take up the phone and I call my aunt who brought the message and I say, call your miss communicating aunt and tell her, sister, and tell her that the lady she says dead is alive. She calls to tell the lady, well, you know the lady alive, don't tell nobody else she dead. And she is, with conviction, she's believing that the lady is dead. I saw her up there yesterday, she's still living. Tonight, Mother Lakshmi is asking with conviction because she wants the truth. When you want the truth, you ask with a different kind of tone, do you know? When you want real information, you ask with a different kind of authority. You don't just ask, you ask with authority. You demand to know. And Mother Lakshmi, she demands to know. And then Lord Vishnu, he says, yes, I fed the plants and I fed the animals and I fed the humans and everybody is fed and everybody will sleep comfortable tonight. Mother Lakshmi dipped her hand and pulled out a little box. And in that box, she hid away an ant. One ant. And hiding this ant inside of the box, and ants, you know the ants? Hiding it inside of the box. She opened the box and she took a peep. There is no way that this animal will get food inside of there. And she sees that the little animal is eating one grain of rice. She turns to Lord Vishnu and looking at Lord Vishnu, she smiled. Lord Vishnu looked at her as though he's saying, told you. I told you. I was telling the truth. Tonight I want to tell you, and a day will come when you'll be reminded that I told you. That while we live in a very judgmental world among beings who are the judge and the jury and the executionists and they know your business more than their own, and while you try to build a relationship with the beings and around you, learn to build a relationship with Bhagwan, with God. Learn to foster a relationship with Bhagwan. That when you're hungry, you think Bhagwan. When you're thirsty, you think Bhagwan. When your stomach is full, you think Bhagwan. When you're happy, you think Bhagwan. When you're angry, you think Bhagwan. An awakening happened to me today in the funeral. And in the funeral, a daughter-in-law is saying to her daughter, a daughter-in-law and a granddaughter of the deceased, they're having a conversation. And the daughter-in-law is telling her daughter, go put the flowers for your grandfather, although he never talked to you in your whole life. Go, put up flowers. Why must we live like that? Why must we live like that? And even in death, the people you never talk to have to do something for you, you know. The people who you never talk to and you dislike, and they have to do something for you, you know. Well, I want to tell my relatives something. You better be my friend, you know. Because I know the prayers. Living or dead, I have to say it for you. Hope me and say the dead prayers while you're living. And hope me and say the wrong prayers when you're dead. Because I've taught you over and over again. Pray for yourself while you have an opportunity. Do not wait and depend on anybody to pray for you. And tonight I want to tell you with no apology, and you'll be reminded that I told you this, by the servants of Yama. Before you could love a God in the heavens that you have never seen, let us learn to love those around us that we can see. Before you can try to be a Hindu or a Muslim or a Christian, let us learn to be good human beings first. And before we could expect God to accept anything from us and forgive us, let us learn to forgive and accept the fact that we are not perfect. We are all on the pathway to perfection. The Divine Goddess, she smiles. Tonight, when we stand before the Devi, she must smile with us. Not smile at you, you know. Smile with you. You see tonight, when you go home, and for those of you already at home, and for those of you at work or wherever, the instruction is when you go home, go, you know when you meet somebody after a long time, you want to hug them and kiss them? And that's how you greet them. Go to your murti. That's why you have a murti, you know. go to your murti and hug your murti if you can. Go to your murti and stand up and talk to the murti in the ears. That's why the murti have an ears, to hear you. Go to the ears and tell, ask, state your petition, and don't go to sleep tonight without doing it. This is called Navratri. Suhani, it's called Navratri. The most powerful time to pray to the Devi is in the most powerful time to pray to the Devi is what time? I say night time. The most powerful time to pray to the Devi is in the night. Go home and light your diya. Go home and sit before your murti and pray to the Devi. Talk to her with conviction from your heart. Now is the time when she will listen to you and she will give to you your desires. तुम ही हो माता पिता तुम ही हो बंधु सखा तुम ही हो माँ.
तुम ही हो माता पिता तुम ही हो बंधु सखा तुम ही हो माँ.
तुम ही हो साथी तुम ही सहारे कोई न अपना सेवा तुम्हारे माँ. तुम ही हो नैया तुम ही केवैया तुम ही हो बंधु सखा तुम ही हो माँ. तुम ही हो माता पिता तुम ही हो बंधु सखा तुम ही हो माँ. जो किल सके ना वो पुल हम हैं तुम्हारे चरणों के दूर हम हैं माँ. दया के दृष्टि सदा के रखना तुम ही हो बंधु सखा तुम ही हो माँ. Everybody, ओ माँ हो माँ. O Ma, O Ma, O Ma, O Ma. तुम ही हो माता पिता तुम ही हो बंधु सखा तुम ही हो माँ.
तुम ही हो माता पिता तुम ही हो बंधु सखा तुम ही हो माँ.
हरि ओम सर्वत्र समायुक्तं सुगंधिं निर्मलं जलम् आचमनीयात् गृहाण परमेश्वर. पापोहं पाप कर्मं पापात्मं पुंडरीकाक्ष त्रायिमां पुंडरीकाक्ष सर्व पापहरो हरे. May the sins that we have been born into the world with, the sins we have accumulated by thought, word, action and deed, may all of these sins be burnt away as we perform the Havan. Om Bhurvasva Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimidyo Yona Prachodayat. Idam Gatri Idam Namama. Om Bhurvasva Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimidyo Yona Prachodayat. Idam Gatri Idam Namama. Om Bhurvasva Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimidyo Yona Prachodayat. Idam Gatri Idam Namama. एकदन्ताय विद्महे वक्रतुण्डाय धीमहि तन्नो दन्ते प्रचोदयात्. ओम हंसाय विद्महे परमहंसाय धीमहि तन्नो हंसा प्रचोदयात्. ओम अंजनी सुताय विद्महे वायुपुत्राय धीमहि तन्नो हनुमान प्रचोदयात्. नारायणाय विद्महे वासुदेवाय धीमहि तन्नो विष्णु प्रचोदयात्. महालक्ष्मी च विद्महे विष्णुपत्नी च धीमहि तन्नो भगवते प्रचोदयात्. ओम तत्पुरुषाय विद्महे महादेवाय धीमहि तन्नो रुद्र प्रचोदयात्. ओम ऐं ह्रीं क्रीं चामुण्डाय विचे नमः. कल्याणाय विद्महे कनककुमारी च धीमहि तन्नो भगवते प्रचोदयात्. कल्याणाय विद्महे कनककुमारी च धीमहि तन्नो भगवते प्रचोदयात्. कल्याणाय विद्महे कनककुमारी च धीमहि तन्नो भगवते प्रचोदयात्. I said on one of our Havans that when you are mailing a letter, and you go to the post office, there's several things that are very important. The address of where the letter has to go to is important. The content of the letter is important. You are sending something. So the content of our worship this evening is the ghee that you're offering. The address is the name of the devatas and devis that we are offering to. But though you have an address, that letter will not go anywhere until there is a stamp. You all know the stamp? You have to pay. The stamp is your payment to make sure that your package, your letter, goes, it is transmitted. The stamp in the Hawad is the word Swaha. Swaha is who? Swaha is a Devi. She is the consort of Agni Devata, the fire god. And so when we say Swaha, she is the messenger. She is the Devi who is delegated to perform the act of taking the oblation to the Devatas. That's why we're told that if you are not physically making an offering, you still chant Swaha because you get an equivalent blessing as though. That's why you are told that when you're joking and playing and having a good time, you never say Swaha or chant mantras or pretend prayers in joke because God is listening to you. God is listening to you. You should not play with prayers. You should not play while you are praying. And you should not incorporate those words in your play either. I want you to let us ensure that the offerings they're conveyed to the Devi tonight. When you say Swaha, you must say it with some kind of conviction, with some kind of authority, not egoistically, but with bhakti, with devotion. हम संसाय विद्मे परमं सारिमि तन्नो हमसा प्रचोदयात् ओम कत्यानाय विद्मे कनकुमारी चरिमि तन्नो भगवते प्रचोदयात् 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 ओम त्र्यंबकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमेव वन्दना मृत्योर्मुक्षमामृतात् त्र्यंबकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमेव वन्दना मृत्योर्मुक्षमामृतात् त्र्यंबकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमेव वन्दना मृत्योर्मुक्षमामृतात् नासै रोगहरे सवपीरा जपत निरंतर हनुमत वीरा संकट से हनुमान चुरावे मन कर्म वचन ध्यान जोड़ावे स्वाहा जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई कृपा करो गुरुदेव किनाई जो शत बार पाठ करोई जूते वंदे मां सुतोई स्वाहा ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय स्वाहा सर्वदेवी सर्वदेवता नमः स्वाहा सर्वतीर्थ समायुक्तं सुगंधिं निर्मलं जलम् आचमनम्यादत्त गृहाण परमेश्वर आचमनं समर्पयामि we find this smoke वनस्पतिर्सूरभूतो गन्धार्यो गणरूत्तमा आग्रे सर्वदेवानां धूपोऽयं प्रतिगृहीतां विभाव अनलानमानलानमानलानमाग्निदेवता वाह्यामि स्थाप्यामि पूज्यांश्च खड़ा हो जाए आरती लीजिए सुनो मेरी देवी पर्वत वासिनी तेरा पारन पाया तेरा पारन पाया बोलो
सुनो मेरी देवी पर्वत वासिनी तेरा पारन पाया तेरा पारन पाया
बोलो सुनो मेरी देवी पर्वत वासिनी तेरा पारन पाया तेरा पारन पाया
सुनो मेरी देवी पर्वत वासिनी तेरा पारन पाया तेरा पारन पाया
पान सुपारी ध्वजा नारियल
पान सुपारी ध्वजा नारियल
पान सुपारी ध्वजा नारियल
पान सुपारी ध्वजा नारियल
रे तेरे बीच चराया रे तेरे बीच चराया बोलो
सुनो मेरी देवी पर्वत वासिनी तेरा पारन पाया तेरा
द्वाचोर तेरे अंग विराजे,
द्वाचोर तेरे अंग विराजे,
केसर तिलक लगाया, केसर तिलक लगाया। बोलो
सुनो मेरी देवी पर्वत वासिनी, तेरा पार न पाया, तेरा पार न पाया।
ब्रह्मा वीर परी तेरे द्वारे,
ब्रह्मा वीर परे तेरे द्वारे,
ओ ब्रह्मा वीर परी तेरे द्वारे,
ब्रह्मा वीर परे तेरे द्वारे।
शंकर ध्यान लगाया, माँ शंकर ध्यान लगाया। बोलो
सुनो मेरी देवी पर्वत वासिनी, तेरा पार न पाया, तेरा पार न पाया।
सतयुग त्रेता द्वापर मवे,
सतयुग त्रेता द्वापर माधे,
सतयुग त्रेता द्वापर मवे,
सतयुग त्रेता द्वापर माधे।
कलयुग राज सवाया, कलयुग राज सवाया। बोलो
सुनो मेरी देवी पर्वत वासिनी, तेरा पार न पाया, तेरा पार न पाया।
धूप दीप नैवेद्य आरती,
धूप दीप नैवेद्य आरती,
धूप दीप नैवेद्य आरती।
धूप दीप नैवेद्य आरती।
मोहन भोग लगाया, मोहन भोग लगाया। बोलो
सुनो मेरी देवी पर्वत वासिनी, तेरा पार न पाया, तेरा पार न पाया।
दानु भगत मैं तेरे गुण गावे,
दानु भगत मैया तेरे गुण गावे,
धन्य भगत मैं तेरे गुण गावे।
धन्य भगत मैया तेरे गुण गावे।
मन वांछित फल पाया, मन वांछित फल पाया। बोलो
सुनो मेरी देवी पर्वत वासिनी, तेरा पार न पाया, तेरा पार न पाया।
जगदम्बा देवी, जगदम्बा देवी, जय 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 जगदम्बा देवी।
जगदम्बा देवी, जगदम्बा देवी, जय 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 जगदम्बा देवी।
जगदम्बा देवी, जगदम्बा देवी, जय 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 जगदम्बा देवी।
जगदम्बा देवी, जगदम्बा देवी, जय 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 जगदम्बा देवी।
जगदम्बा देवी, ओ जगदम्बा देवी, जय 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 जगदम्बा देवी। जगदम्बा देवी, जगदम्बा देवी, जय 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 जगदम्बा देवी।
जगदम्बा देवी, जगदम्बा देवी, जय 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 जगदम्बा देवी।
जय 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 जगदम्बा देवी।
जय 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 जगदम्बा देवी।
जगदम जगदम जगदम्बा देवी, देखो तुम्हारा शिव शक्ति।
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 ओ देखो तुम्हारा शिव शक्ति, देखो तुम्हारा शिव ज्योति। जगदम जगदम जगदम्बा देवी, देखो तुम्हारा शिव शक्ति।
जगदम जगदम जगदम्बा देवी, देखो तुम्हारा शिव शक्ति।
अगर बम अगर बम अगर बम बम बम,
अगर बम अगर बम अगर बम बम बम।
अगर बम अगर बम अगर बम बम बम।
अगर बम अगर बम अगर बम बम बम।
अगर बम 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 बोला बजावे डमरू।
अगर बम 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 भोला बजाए डमरू।
अगर बम 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 बोला बजावे डमरू।
अगर बम 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 भोला बजाए डमरू।
बजावे डमरू, बजावे डमरू,
बजाए डमरू, बजाए डमरू।
बजावे डमरू, बजावे डमरू,
बजाए डमरू, बजाए डमरू।
बजावे डमरू, बजावे डमरू। शिव बम 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 बोला बजावे डमरू।
शिव बम 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 भोला बजाए डमरू।
शिव बम 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 बोला बजावे डमरू।
शिव बम 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 भोला बजाए डमरू।
शंकर शिवा, शंकर शिवा, शंभु महादेव शंकर शिवा
शंकर शिवा शंकर शिवा शंभु महादेव शंकर शिवा
शंकर शिवा शंकर शिवा शंभु महादेव शंकर शिवा
शंकर शिवा शंकर शिवा शंभु महादेव शंकर शिवा
अगर बम अगर बम बम बम
अगर बम 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 अगर बम अगर बम बम बम
नव दुर्गा कवच का देहि जो मान वांछित फल का देहि उपका देहि प्रकार पारा कभी कष्ट देहि निवारा जय 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 महारानी जय 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 दुर्गा ही भवानी वैर शैल पुत्रिका देहि ब्रह्मचारिणी देका भूमि शतकंता का भूष्मा देहि पंचम स्कंद देहि देहि जाता कर्यायिनी रूपा सावित्री सतिका देहि स्वरूपा गौरी देवी सिद्धदात्री नव दुर्गा का भाम शक्ति माँ शक्ति का संकट भारा कर भक्ति विनती भारा रोग दोष का नित का मोहि शक्ति रूप का दे बच तोरी माँ दे कर भाई बाबा शक्ति कवच सुनहि सुनाया ओ काम सिद्धि का पाया चामुंडा का देहि विनाया विनाशर कर करुणः स्वर्गा प्रेम मातेश्वरी का माता हाथ चोर का देहि माई हंसवाहिनी विराज मोहि देकर चंडी दुर्गा कुमारी लक्ष्मी देवी कमलाधारी ब्राह्मणी देकर हंसह वीणा सुमिरो देकर भक्ति दीना शक्ति रूप को मरण न पायो शक्ति गई तब मन पछतायो शरणागत होई गिर की बकानी जय 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 जगदम्ब भवानी शंख चक्र शक्ति रूला देकर मूसक कमल फूला वेद नाशन करनी माता रूप अंधिका देवी तारा पार पार का दे जग जननी कष्ट निवाहन दुष्ट न पाई कोटि कोटि का नाम का माता पूर्ण कहोई कर हे दाता मयोर देहि देहि बनाती देकर दास कष्ट न पाई चामुंडा का रक्षा देहि सिंह चंदे मातन देहि कहो जय 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 महारानी जय 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 अष्ट भवानी अग्नि से हो अग्नि देवता पूर्वक दे अनेत्र का देवा दे कर नाथ भक्ति मोहि अधिका दे कर दुर्गा होई ओम ऐं ह्रीं क्रीं चामुंडाय विचे नमः. In your homes, wherever you are, let's all stretch our hands towards the Devi. And as we stretch our hands, let us pray from our heart to heart. Ma, listen to our prayer. Vayu de karam mrigaka dehi panchama devi varuna dehi ukaka de kar shatru nata ramini mata dehi vidata de kar nasha dushta hamari hataka raksha raksha hoy sanmukh devi matu bhavani vidya dahini shakti dhai shakti रूपा उमा तेरी सिर का दे कर भक्ति मोहि. As you stretch towards the Devi, visualize the Devi blessing you from the crown of your head to the sole of your feet. Visualize her warding away all your sickness and all your problems. Visualize her taking away your trouble, your mental trouble, your physical trouble, your emotional trouble and stress. Ask her to purify you tonight. She's listening to you. काली कृपा है शक्ति रूपा देकर भगवती है स्वरूपा जीवन की माता सरस्वती गाहे देकर देहि भक्ति चंदा देकर मंगल माला देकर भक्ति भक्ति निदाना दुष्ट सकल का रक्षा मोहि सूरेश्वर का भूमीश्वरी देकर विनती दास तुम्हारा शक्ति रक्षा देहि अपारा. ओम ऐं ह्रीं क्रीं चामुंडाय विचे नमः. Put your hands on your chest and from your heart talk to the Devi tonight. She's listening to you. शक्ति देकर भगवती माता, रक्षे देकर विघ्न विनाश, देकर मधु केत वाहिनी, देकर पूर्वक जन जननी, जग जननी का शामन धाये, देकर गुण का रक्षण पाए। विद्या वाहिनी देही माता, रक्षा देकर शिव का दाता, रत्न मासन हृदय होय, देकर बिनती शरीर होय। अन्न दूत का पित का धारी, बार बार का देही माता, बल बुद्धि का देही प्रसन्ना, अपने देकर रक्षा नंदा, सत्का राजन गुण का भोरी, देकर दर्शन मातु होय। ओम विद्यादाहिनी माता सरस्वती, देकोर की मोल, दुष्ट रक्षा करो दुर्गा, जय 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 त्रिशूल। भैरवी भैरव वाहिनी रक्षा करो, हमेशा कृपा करो। देकोर यत्र योगेश्वर देहि, सिर कर हे पवमोर। कवच तुम्हारी देकर शक्ति, जग जननी माता हो। रक्षा करो दुर्गा देवी करो। ओम ऐं ह्रीं क्रीं चामुण्डाय विचे, ऐं ह्रीं क्रीं चामुण्डाय विचे, ऐं ह्रीं क्रीं चामुण्डाय विचे। चामुण्डाय विचे। एक बार क्षमा करो देवी, मेरे माता श्री देवी माता।
एक बार क्षमा करो देवी,
असतो मां सद्गमय, तमसो मां ज्योतिर्गमय, मृत्योर्मां अमृतं गमय। मंत्रहीनं क्रियाहीनं भक्तिहीनं सुरेश्वरी, यत्पूजितं मया देवी परिपूर्णं तरस्तमे। त्वमेव माता सविता त्वमेव, त्वमेव बन्धो ससिका त्वमेव, त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव, त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव। ॐ ऐं ह्रीं क्रीं चामुण्डाय विचे नमः। देवी माता प्रेम मूर्ति दुर्गा माता, एक बार क्षमा करो देवी, मेरी माता श्री देवी माता। ओम शांति
ओम शांति,
देव शांति, अंतरिक्ष शांति, पृथ्वी शांति, आपा शांति, ओषधे शांति, वनस्पति शांति, विश्वदेवा शांति, ब्रह्मा शांति, सर्वं शांति। शांतिरेवा शांति सामा शांतिरिति भवतु। मंगल ध्वनि है ओम शांति ओम। बड़ा ही सुख कर ये मंत्र मन हर, ओम शांति ओम शांति ओम। बोलो ओम शांति ओम शांति ओम शांति। उमापति महादेव की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय, अयोध्या राम लला की जय, वृंदावन कृष्ण चंद्र की जय, पूरे सा जगन्नाथ जाहि विधि राखे रामा जाहि विधि राखे रामा ताहि विधि रहे
सीताराम 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 सीताराम
अब चोरिया पी जय बसिन बनवारी
अब चोरिया पी के बसिन बनवारी
अब चोरिया पी जय बसिन बनवारी
अब चोरिया पी के बसिन बनवारी
बसिन बनवारी बसिन बनवारी
बसिन बनवारी बसिन बनवारी
बसिन बनवारी बसिन बनवारी
बसिन बनवारी बसिन बनवारी
अब चोरिया पी जय बसिन बनवारी
अब चोरिया पी के बसिन बनवारी
अब चोरिया पी जय बसिन बनवारी
अब चोरिया पी के बसिन बनवारी
रामनगर की बांसी रे सुगना
रामनगर के पासी रे सुगना
रामनगर की बांसी रे सुगना
रामनगर के पासी रे सुगना
बांसी रे सुगना ओ बांसी रे सुगना
पासी रे सुगना हो पासी रे सुगना
बांसी रे सुगना ओ बांसी रे सुगना
पासी रे सुगना हो पासी रे सुगना
रामनगर की बांसी रे सुगना
रामनगर के पासी रे सुगना
रामनगर की बांसी रे सुगना
रामनगर के पासी रे सुगना
चितवनिया में नैना लगायो राम
चितवनिया में नैना लगाए आयो राम
चितवनिया में नैना लगायो राम
चितवनिया में नैना लगाए आयो राम
लगायो राम लगायो राम
लगाए आयो राम लगाए आयो राम
लगायो राम लगायो राम
लगाए आयो राम लगाए आयो राम
चितवनिया में नैना लगायो राम
चितवनिया में नैना लगाए आयो राम
चितवनिया में नैना लगायो राम
चितवनिया में नैना लगाए आयो राम
बसुनैया मेरो जानकी रघुवीर
बसुनैया मेरो जानकी रघुवीर
बसुनैया मेरो जानकी रघुवीर
बसुनैया मेरो जानकी रघुवीर
जानकी रघुवीर जानकी रघुवीर
जानकी रघुवीर जानकी रघुवीर
जानकी रघुवीर जानकी रघुवीर
जानकी रघुवीर जानकी रघुवीर
बसुनैया मेरो जानकी रघुवीर
बसुनैया मेरो जानकी रघुवीर
अनरी रजनी भोला ना तोरो ना तोरो ना
अनरी नजरे भोला ना तोरो ना तोरो ना
अनरी रजनी भोला ना तोरो ना तोरो ना
अनरी नजरे भोला ना तोरो ना तोरो ना
जीत मुरे परचे जे तनी मुरे परचे बाबर चेना
गीत मोरे बरसे जतन मोरे बरसे बाबर सेना
जीत मुरे परचे जे तनी मुरे परचे बाबर चेना
गीत मोरे बरसे जतन मोरे बरसे बाबर सेना हो बरसत हार गय हो ना तोरो ना तोरो ना
तनी भोला ना तोरो ना तोरो ना
अनरी नजरे भोला ना तोरो ना तोरो ना
सया मुरे भरचे सवत्या मुरे भरचे बाबर चेना
गया मोरे बरसे सवत्या मोरे बरसे बाबर सेना
सया मुरे भरचे सवत्या मुरे भरचे बाबर चेना
गया मोरे बरसे सवत्या मोरे बरसे बाबर सेना हो बरसत हार गया हो ना तोरो ना तोरो ना
वो बरगत हाय गय हो ना तोरो ना तोरो ना अनारी रजनी भोला ना तोरो ना तोरो ना
अनरी नजरे भोला ना तोरो ना तोरो ना
अनारी रजनी भोला ना तोरो ना तोरो ना We'll sing more like that. Puri Bhagwat. Puri Okay, Bhagavad will sing more like that. We're not going to sing any more like that for this yajna. We're going to give over the microphone now to somebody who could really sing. And so he's going to sing the final rendition for us this evening. Jagadamba Devi Mata Ki Jai.
जय जग जननी भवानी, 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 हो रामा भवानी, हो रामा अचल वरदानी, जय जग जननी भवानी, जय जग जननी भवानी, हो रामा भवानी, हो रामा अचल वरदानी, जय जग जननी भवानी। जय जग जननी, जय जग जननी, जय जग जननी भवानी, हो रामा अचल वरदानी, जय जग जननी भवानी, 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 जय जग जननी, जय जग जननी, जय जग जननी भवानी, हो रामा अचल वरदानी, जय जग जननी भवानी। जगमग 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 ज्योति विराजे, ज्योति विराजे, जगमग जगमग ज्योति विराजे, ज्योति विराजे, तेज प्रतापनी, तेज प्रतापनी, तेज प्रतापनी धानी, हो रामा अचल वरदानी, जय जग जननी भवानी, जय जग जननी भवानी, हो रामा अचल वरदानी, जय जग जननी भवानी, 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 जय जग जननी, जय जग जननी, जय जग जननी भवानी, हो रामा अचल वरदानी, जय जग जननी भवानी। दुख हरनी सुख, दुख हरनी सुख, दुख हरनी सुख, संपत भरनी, संपत भरनी, दुख हरनी, दुख हरनी सुख, संपत भरनी, संपत भरनी, करनी सकाल कली, करनी सकाल कली, करनी सकाल कल्याणी, हो रामा अचल वरदानी, जय जग जननी भवानी, जय जग जननी भवानी, हो रामा अचल वरदानी, जय जग जननी भवानी, 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 जय जग जननी, जननी भवानी हो रामा अचल वरदानी। जय जग जननी भवानी, जय जग जननी भवानी हो रामा अचल वरदानी। जय जग जननी भवानी। राम नाम का पका, राम नाम का पका, ओ राम नाम का पक्का लोभी क्या मया में रखा। ओ राम नाम, ओ राम नाम, ओ राम नाम का पक्का लोभी क्या मया में रखा। ओ राम नाम का पक्का लोभी क्या मया में रखा। क्या मया में रखा, क्या मया में रखा। ओ राम नाम, ओ राम नाम, ओ राम नाम का पक्का लोभी क्या मया में रखा। ओ राम नाम का पक्का लोभी क्या मया में रखा। राम चरण में जो कोई आवत सकल पाप के जाते। राम चरण में जो कोई आवत सकल पाप के जाते। जिन चरण से सरसरी निकले शंकर जात समाते। ओ राम नाम, ओ राम नाम, ओ राम नाम का पक्का लोभी क्या मया में रखा। ओ राम नाम का पक्का लोभी क्या मया में रखा। क्या मया में रखा, क्या मया में रखा। ओ राम नाम का पक्का लोभी क्या मया में रखा। ओ राम नाम का पक्का लोभी क्या मया में रखा। दुनिया दौलत मालिक जाना बनिया बैल लदाई। दुनिया दौलत मालिक जाना बनिया बैल लदाई। वो जानी माया संग जाना सब यही रह जाए। ओ राम नाम, ओ राम नाम, ओ राम नाम का पक्का लोभी क्या मया में रखा। ओ राम नाम का पक्का लोभी क्या मया में रखा। क्या मया में रखा, क्या मया में रखा। ओ राम नाम, ओ राम नाम, ओ राम नाम का पक्का लोभी क्या मया में रखा। ओ राम नाम का पक्का लोभी क्या मया में रखा। ओ राम नाम का पक्का लोभी क्या मया में रखा।